Whirza combo is what I felt would go best with her. I personally love her. New waifu, official new waifu. She's great. She's a young Pyromancer that scales with the game of Commander and is awesome. I think that she's fantastic. Lifelink, Death Touch flying, and she makes 1/1s that she has an anthem effect that pumps them every time that you cast an artifact or enchantment. So she makes all of your artifacts and mana rocks better. She makes all of your enchantments better. I love it. Also, I want to mention that this deck does have a ton of toolboxy stuff and is skewed towards my taste. There are a bunch of different variations of like ways to play Whirza combo and lean into certain aspects of the combo and play it in certain ways. In Modern right now, I chose one that just has a bunch of toolboxes essentially duct taped together and goes, which tool do you need? Now let's get right into the deck. For starters, we are playing the, of course, Sword of the Meek and the Thropter Foundry combo together, and we have Whirza himself, the Lord High Artificer. I keep wanting to call him High Lord Artificer. When all these cards are together, the Sword of the Meek can be tapped for 1 blue mana, and then that 1 blue mana can be used to sack Sword of the Meek to the Thropter Foundry to make a 1/1 blue flyer. But whenever a 1/1 enters battlefield, the sword, which is now in the graveyard, sees the flyer and now equips itself from the graveyard back to the battlefield to the Thropter. Now you can tap it again to make another blue mana, sacrifice it, and then produce yet another 1/1 flyer. And you gain a life every time you do that. So you can just go and make infinite 1/1 flyers. Fantastic, love it. But the last one, always remember, gets an extra +1/+2 because the Sword of the Meek sees it and reattaches itself automatically. Fantastic card. Now, we have a bunch of different ways to help us support that. We got our Tribute Mage to help us find either Thropter Foundry or Sword of the Meek, or any of our other 2 mana cost mana cards. Sorry, 2 mana artifacts, such as Arcane Signet if we really desperately need fixing for mana. Now, there are some other options in here to help us find this. We got our Stoneforge Mystic, recently legal in Modern. Awesome card. Love it, love it, love it. We can use that to find Sword of the Meek or Feast of Famine, Sword of Feast of Famine, Batter Skull. Let's see. We have a few other different cards in here that are fantastic ways to win the game. We also have Zura the Enchanter, and every time that he attacks, he tutors out a enchantment with converted mana cost 3 or less and puts it onto the battlefield. We have Arcane Laboratory to fight Storm. We have our Bitter Blossom to make some more tokens. We have Contamination, which is like a better version of Blood Moon, but because it affects all lands, even basics, now produce only black, which affects us. But we have a bunch of mana rocks. Usually, we have a little bit more mana rocks, a few more mana rocks than a lot of decks do, which is spectacular. I love having an access of mana rocks because all of ours also produce tokens, which is fine. We've got Dimension Spheres for removal. We got a Grasp of Fate, more removal. We have Mirror Maid for copying more artifacts and enchantments that are on the battlefield to make them even better. We have Monastery, Siege. We have Mystic Remora, Necropotence, which is always a good one. Gotta love Necropotence. Pay 1 life, get a card. Great. Nevermore. Stop somebody from casting their commander or important storm card or something like that. Oath of Liliana is Edict Effect, Propaganda to protect us, Specific Study, Seal of Cleansing as essentially a disenchant, but in the form of an enchantment that it makes us a 1/1 flyer every time that we cast it. It's great. As can search for us Kanta and Soul Snare. Now, last toolboxy thing that we got going on here is Karn the Great Creator. Karn the Great Creator allows you to tutor something from your sideboard, put it into your hand. He also can turn artifacts into creatures, and he stops your opponents from using their artifact abilities. The important part is is the very top line, and the fact that he gets things from your sideboard. So together, you can just go get a Mycosynth Lattice, and then play the Mycosynth Lattice, and all your opponent's cards are artifacts, even lands. They have activated abilities that can't be activated now, even if they're mana abilities. Liquid Metal Coating is just a way to get essentially just a spot removal card that combos with Karn. You turn it into an artifact with Liquid Metal Coating, and then Karn will turn it into a creature. You target their land, which has a converted mana cost of 0. He gives it power and toughness equal to its converted mana cost 0, and it instantly dies. There's Graphic Digger's Cage to fight through nasty combos, Ensnaring Bridge to protect us from a lot of creatures and a lot of swarming, annoying Craterhoof shenanigans, to fight against control decks with a lot of removal and a lot of instants. We have Defense Grid, we have Dampening Sphere to fight through more combo and more land shenanigans, particularly Storm. Don't like Storm. Crucible of Worlds for super grindy matchups, because we do have our Wasteland, Strip Mine, and Field of Ruin in the main deck. We got Pithing Needle for annoying activated abilities, Relic of Progenitus to fight through more graveyard stuff, and Torpor Orb for some combo decks that like to use a lot of ETBs and flicker effects and shenanigans with graveyard and whatever, abuse the ETB. We got some other ways. The last of the tutors, Transmute Artifact. We got Demonic Tutor, Reshape, and we have an Enlightened Tutor over here. Then there are quite a few ways for us to gain a lot of card advantage to help us find these things. We got Tezzeret the Seeker, both Mana Ramp and Tutor. Narset, Parter of the Veil, is a way to look at the top 4, almost an Anticipate, but only for non-land, non-creature cards. One of the most important things about her is your opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. So Brainstorm is shut off, and they would have to put 2 cards back after they draw 1. So not bad. We have plenty of other goodies here. I mentioned the Azcanta and other things in the side, such as the Rhystic Study and Necropotence. But we also have our Future Sight combo and our Sensei's Divining Top. Together they combo and let you pay 1 to replace let's say they let you just pay 1 to play the Sensei's Top off of your library and tap it to draw a card to put it back on top, having drawn the card to replace it, and just continue paying 1 to just put it back on top, draw 1, pay 1 to put it back on the field. Skull Clamp, because we do have some tokens, and drawing a ton of cards for just 1 mana is fantastic. Soul Ring, I guess now would be a great time to get into all of the different mana rocks that we have. We got our Soul Rings, we have our Mox Amber, got, yeah, this is the Mox Amber, this is the Mox Opal. Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, Jeweled Amulet, Chrome Mox, Arkham's Astrolabe, Arcane Signet. Arcane's Astrolabe is even good in Legacy. I wanted to include it here. We have quite a few other things. We got the Tandaline. Oh yeah, Chrome Mox might have skipped you. So that is a lot of our mana ramp along with Tezzeret. We have a couple of cards to protect ourselves, particularly instants and sorceries, because we are trying to protect our combo as much as we can without being all in on the combo. Arcane Denial, Counterspell, Dispel, Dovin's Veto, Flusterstorm, Force of Will, Pact of Negation, Spell Pierce, Swan Song, Swords to Plowshares to blow up our opponent's other creatures. These all together, we try to aim at our opponent's cards that they're trying to use to accelerate themselves as much as possible, because a lot of competitive EDH is about accelerating yourself and trying to accelerate yourself into a combo. We're trying to slow them down and allow us to assemble our combo first and then just beat our opponent's face in once we have stalled them out. It's less about us protecting ourselves and more about us harming them with these counter spells, but they can be used the other way. Gitaxian Probe, gotta love Gitaxian Probe, gotta shout it out. We actually have our Snapcaster Mage for artifacts. Amiri, Lurker of the Lock. I love her. I kind of want to build a deck around her, but it would be pretty basic. For the mana base, we got some artifact lands. We do have Cabal Coffers and Urborg together. We got our dual lands, Strip Mines, as I mentioned before. The snow-covered lands for Astrolabe. We do have fetch lands to help us go get the stone lands if we find Astrolabe. We have some of the untapped lands from Battle Bonds. The two that fit, the Sea of Clouds and the blue-black one. Let's see. We also have our shock lands and our buddy lands that enter untapped. They have a matching colored a matching land. Like this one is plains or island. There's also all the other Esper ones. Plus we have Inventor's Fair to help us tutor out one artifact of our choice if we have Metalcraft. And we can gain 1 life at the beginning of our upkeep for just 1. We don't really obviously no deck absolutely needs Inventor's Fair in it, and it is not the most powerful tutor in the world, but it is worth mentioning because you can use your mana base to tutor for cards. Gotta love it. Gotta love gaining incidental life for just nothing. And that is the deck. Thank you for watching, and if there's anything that you would like to change about this deck, just go and follow the link down below. There's also a massive maybe board of cards that didn't make it into the deck that I thought weren't good enough in here, and some of them are combos, some of them are sweet control cards, sweet removal cards, a ton of powerful stuff down in the sideboard, but I didn't feel like the deck was ready for it, and I felt like these were just better options. If you think I'm wrong, just let me know. You can actually make your own copy of the deck and build your own version right here on tapped.net for free. Every account is always free. And that would be it. Thank you for watching and coming in for that face touch.